Right, I mean, it didn't take long. There is the petulant, of course, Prince Harry, who seemingly just cannot take no for an answer. Never, ever, ever his fault, is it? Can never just put his hands up and say, you know, there were mistakes on both sides. We really need to sort of look at it and maybe do something different moving forward. No. Prince Harry now has decided, along with his cable TV actress wife, Meghan Markle, to simply do this. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Lovely to have your company on a beautiful day here in the very heart of London. It's just nice, isn't it, when you get the sun? It makes you feel better about everything, you know what I mean? Absolutely. By the way, can I just point out a story that I mentioned probably a few months back now, and I don't know if you felt this, but apparently the sale of plant-based milks, the oat milks and all that sort of stuff, are tumbling, and people are going back to full fat milk. And I told you I'd started drinking that again, basically because when you get a bit older, you want the nutrients, don't you, and all that sort of stuff. But my thing is, unless you've got an intolerance to it, I don't know how anybody can afford those plant-based stuff. They're very pricey, and they're all sort of, you know, promise wonders, don't they? But milk is milk, and as I say, unless you're allergic, I think no wonder the prices are going. I saw a box the other day, let me know if you can beat this. They say a carton, right, you know, £3 for some milk. And you think, well, you know, a small sort of pint is like 85p. Why on earth would you spend more than that? I mean, that's bad enough, right? Let's get back. Sorry, I'd love to share these things with you. Let's get back to your royal story of the day. This really does get my blood boiling, in fact, because it just goes to show that everybody around Harry, the people that he's paying a phenomenal amount of money to, you know, the communications team, the advisors, the fake courtier, grandiose stuff that he has around him, they have no idea about public perception. If there was ever a man that literally has ruined his own life by, well, being just a child, a man-child, it's Harry. Of course, it's backed up by his wife, the cable TV actress Meghan Markle. Now, as we know, last week he got turfed out, fired, moved, whatever, axed from Centre Bali, the charity that apparently was his life's work, but not his life's work enough to put it on the line to keep his wife happy, simply because, you know, she muscled in on taking that award. It was all just messy. I mean, the thing is, it's just an absolute mess. Somebody needs to take Harry, stick him in a darkened room for at least 3 years and say, look, grow up, decide what you want to do, and then come back out when you've thought it through. He literally careers from one disaster to another, like the BBC interview, which of course he pointed out he didn't know how much longer his father had left, so consequently, you know, he was just telling the world this, trying to force His Majesty the King to reveal his health issue and other underlying problems. The guy really has I mean, it's incredibly hard to defend anybody who does things like this. Now, Harry, according to the tabloid newspaper, I wonder how exactly he got all of that information with such clarity to that reporter. And remember, you see, this is the thing what Harry's not very bright about. The paper are harvesting this stuff. Everything is recorded. Everything's detailed. They are drawing him in. Remember, he still has an ongoing case with this particular tabloid, but suddenly he's now quite happy to have his people talk to their people. You see how this works. What's the problem? The bigger problem is this. Whatever happens now, Harry believes that he can draw in a lot more money independently alongside his wife to suddenly fund this brand new African children's charity. Now, this can only be detrimental to Centre Bali, and this is what I mean about how childish it really is, because as, of course, Dr. Sophie Chanduka pointed out, you know, we lost a lot of big backing when suddenly Harry didn't either want to turn up for events or wasn't as prevalent at the forefront. Harry believes that his name alone, being an ex-royal, means that people will instantly come on board for him. Now, the problem is that if he looked a little deeper, as I said at the start of this video, he'd realise that's simply not the case, because Invictus are already struggling to drum up enough money for the Birmingham 2027 games over here in the United Kingdom. So if it was his name alone that was the driving force, where's all of that money? Now, Harry and Meghan believe that they can show to the world that, in fact, well, you know what's happening. They're trying to discredit the previous sort of people who ran Centre Bali. It's all getting very nasty very quickly. What I can tell you that the tabloid is not telling you is this, that Centre Bali have a lot of information and emails and phone calls from Prince Harry. Remember, the chair of that particular charity literally went over here on Sky News and accused Harry of many different things. Apparently, she's gearing up for round 2. This can only be bad for all concerned. And if Harry and Meghan feel, well, particularly her, that people will want to buy into a lifestyle brand with all of this rumbling around them, then they're gravely mistaken. And at the time of the recording this is just a tentative claim. What Harry hopes to do is to force the people of Centre Barley into some kind of sense and reinstate him. That's the plan. It's developing. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.